Welcome to Everything Life Coaching. I'm John Kim.
And I'm Noelle Cordeau. We are the founders of Lumia.
And we're super passionate about all things coaching, and we want to share what we've learned from over a decade of coaching and training thousands of life coaches.
Let's dive into the science and magic of coaching.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Everything Life Coaching. Noelle here. How are you? I'm happy to be dropping in today to talk about a few more 2024 trends that we really want to highlight as we're moving into this new year. So first up, what are we thinking about, coaches? How about dance? Bolstered by TikTok. Dance is a trend that has staying power right now, and I want coaches to take note because, first of all, dancing just feels good and is an often overlooked foundational practice in most ancient societies. From maypoles to rain dances, humans have used rhythm and movement as a form of celebration and spiritual connection since the dawn of civilization. So why is this coming up now, and why is this coming up for coaches? Well, moving into 2024, facilitated experiences are taking center stage, and many of these experiences are focused on groups joining and forging connection. And so where this trend is showing up is in a very specific set of people who are looking to meet others, do fun things, and move beyond the bar scene. If you're planning a retreat, working one-on-one, perhaps you can plan a little bit of time to boogie in with your clients, add an excursion or some movement time or some get happy time into whatever it is that you're working on with your clients, and everyone will get the benefits of some endorphins and a darn good time. We all have bodies, and these bodies need to dance. Dancing connects folks to each other, and truly, dancing in community connects folks to something that is larger than themselves. So hang on to this notion of connection to others and connection to things that are larger than yourself when you're thinking about how to incorporate these kind of practices into your coaching. This is an intervention that gives a lot of relief from loneliness and helps folks get into their bodies and feel connected to their bodies, positive emotions, and most importantly, shared spaces and experience. And just helping your client to have these experiences, to have an experience of connection, joy, belonging, being with others, sharing a space is one of the elements that's going to give us all of those feel-good hormones that's going to enhance any kind of goal accomplishment, no matter what you specifically work on as a coach. Now, moving right along, I'm going to continue to talk about this trend because I've been hammering on it for a little bit, and it is wellness travel. Travelers want trips to transform their health, and the tourism industry is paying attention. So what does this look like in terms of providing services and spaces? This is natural spaces, sound baths, food connection, and a focus on our senses, touch, taste, smell. Sensory exploration has been building as a trend over the last year, and it leads to experiential enhancement across the board. Sometimes if I'm in a coaching session with a client, I may ask them to put their hand on the table next to them and just let me know what it feels like. Is the table warm? Is it smooth? Is it wood? Is it metal? Just to drive into a sensory experience. Fun fact about senses is that our senses are constantly competing with each other, right? So we want to break our clients out of rumination, out of negative thought patterns by having them engage in their senses in different ways. And as we travel, of course, this is one of the things that just naturally happens. All sorts of new sights, sounds, smells, tastes, things that we can engage in, where folks once wanted to give up ideas of discipline in travel and kind of have it be a gluttonous experience. This trend is changing, and we're seeing the tip of sensory experiences move over to discipline and wellness, because traveling consumers want their vacations to actually be restorative, and they want to come out of their vacations and their time off and the things that they choose to do with their time and money feeling restored. This is coming from likely the never-ending treadmill of burnout that we are on in this capitalistic society. Everyone I know is tired and exhausted. There was no real new year, new you push this year. And so this is where we're seeing this trend really come to life, is people are not finding relief in their everyday lives, and they're looking for restorative escapes in travel. Also, folks are losing touch with a lot of different kinds of relationships that were once foundational in society, hanging out with your neighbors, hanging out at a local watering hole. And so people are, again, looking to coaching experiences, group experiences, restorative experience to fill the gaps in their lives towards connection, sensory exploration, learning new things, feeling restored, and coming back to their life with a new sense of meaning. According to Mind Body Green in their annual trend report, American Express named wellness as one of the 4 forces shaping travel this year. And another important statistic comes from the Global Wellness Institute that predicts that the wellness tourism industry is going to grow more than 20% in each coming year. So that's 2024. And then we're also looking at 2025 right now. And the wellness industry focusing in this arena is going to top 1.1 trillion by 2025. So when we're looking at trends and we're thinking about what coaches can do with their services, the reason that we're following the money is because the money tells us where the consumers are going to be. So as a coach, if you're keeping an eye on these trends and redirecting your services to follow the needs of society in a broad-based way, forging connection, travel, restoration, sensory experiences, your business practices are going to be right in line with what consumers are looking for. Another massive factor to take into account when you're looking at this trending space is surging loneliness. I touched on it with dance, and we're going to talk about it here again with travel. Curated wellness travel that includes group activities and nature combats loneliness on 2 fronts: interpersonal connection and the benefits of feeling connected to a greater whole. So this comes from groups, group experiences, and even just being out in nature. So if you happen to live in a beautiful place and you have ready access to hiking trails or parks or forests or oceans or beaches, you might want to consider redirecting your services to natural spaces in order to bridge connection and connection to nature that creates a sense of awe. And there's a tremendous amount of research that's been coming out around the science of awe and how it truly impacts people in being able to dive a little bit deeper into their own ethics and ethical connection. So when we're thinking about this trend of bridging loneliness and nature with awe and what it actually does for us in terms of feeling connected to a greater whole and building a different kind of relationship with our own exploration of ethics. I think it's really fascinating that this is building to a head in the form of wellness tourism, right? So what does this tell us? It tells us that people are not getting what they need, again, from their everyday lives. And so they're looking to a consumer marketplace to curate these types of experiences for them. So as we're thinking about this trend, and you may be a coach thinking, well, where do I get started? This trend is excellent for folks who are entrepreneurially oriented. And this is also an area where jobs are being created in real time. So for example, at the Aman Resort on the New York property, every single guest is now receiving a free 30-minute consultation with a wellness coach who will provide that guest with a well-being score and then recommend treatments to target stress, weight, emotional health, and sleep. Now, I have to tell you, when I was first starting out as a coach, this is exactly the way that I pitched my services. I took printed paper, a folder, and I went to different spas in the area where I live outside of Philadelphia. And I said, hey, as a coach, I can not only give a session, but I can cross-refer to other services. And that's how I got my start as a coach, working one-on-one with clients in spas and universities, delivering little talks on positive psychology and working with folks on wellness, and then also recommending a massage, get your nails done, beef up your wellness experiences for a compounded ROI for the spas that I was working at. Now, what we're seeing 12 years later is that this is actually baked into the way that wellness entities are beginning to think about the value of having coaches work inside spa and wellness destinations to be able to cross-refer to different services based on a client's unique lifestyle and needs. And now, if you're a coach out there that works in a niche space like leadership or performance, or even something like I do, working in relationship spaces or human sexuality, you may think that wellness tourism is not for you, but please don't gloss over this trend, because coaches in every single sector are being called to support this work. When we think about the fact that people want to come away from their time away restored, they're actually looking to work on their whole lives. And following general tenets of coaching, we want to be coaching the person, not the problem. A great example is the Shaw Wellness Clinic that's opening in Mexico. And the Shaw Method programs are going to range from 21 to 4 days in length, and they're going to provide a wide range of services. A couple of examples are Rebalance, Re-Energize, and Detox package, as well as a well-aging prevention and stress relief package. And then there's also leader performance programs and special sessions that focus on improving sleep and enhancing sexual wellness and also boosting concentration. So what we can see from this example is this is a very high-end wellness tourism experience that is focused on a lot of different sectors that coaches touch. And so you can bring your own niche specialization into this space and have tremendous impact. The next trend that we're going to talk about is called big talk. And big talk is a term that I had never heard of before diving into this research. But it turns out that I'm intimately connected to this topic and have been doing a lot of research in this space. And we've touched on it in our other 2024 trend conversations. So where did we find big talk? Big talk was featured in Shape magazine's rollout of wellness trends to watch. And it specifically refers to Gen Z and millennials and their interest in deepening connections through meaningful conversations. So that's the definition of big talk. It's deepening connections through meaningful conversations. And I think it's important to highlight that this is a thing. It's a thing that people are doing so intentionally that there's a new name that has been coined for it. And Gen Z especially takes center stage when we're analyzing this trend because of the record numbers of loneliness reported by the nuggets in this generation. These are folks who are 11 to 26 years old, and they're facing record numbers of loneliness, and they're also seeking remedies, coining language, and tackling it head on in the form of big talk. So coaches, take note, because Gen Z and millennials are finding interpersonal, logistical difficulty in the art of connecting with others, and they're seeking support from coaches to help. This showed up first in the space of career coaching, and we're seeing it now migrate to the space of friendships and even dating apps. Dating apps like Hinge are tackling this topic, helping this particular generation, not so much from the standpoint of finding a romantic partner, but finding other people to hang out with outside of technology and in real life. And a lot of public funding is pouring in right now. So we're seeing jobs created for coaches at the college and university level to tackle not only social problems, but the interpersonal dynamics of having meaningful conversations at work as it relates to conflict and feedback. And then we're seeing this take place in the social sector where Gen Z and millennials are looking for mechanism, tools, games, prompts to help them have meaningful and deeper connections through conversation. Now, if you're a coach thinking, how do I break into this? Am I qualified for this? Coaches can provide basic prompts and frameworks to help folks guide their conversations towards positive outcomes. These are foundationally all of the skills that you have learned in coach training. And so coaches are so specifically and uniquely qualified to engage in this type of coaching. And given that basic prompts, questions, and frameworks will get the job done in helping folks start to think about what is required to deepen connection through communication, this is a great opportunity to begin thinking about scaling your practice from an economic justice perspective. When we're thinking about accessible pricing options, downloadable PDFs, prompts, worksheets, interactive groups, and games are a really fantastic way to provide affordable options for people to access your work, your thoughts, and your services. And some food for thought on this topic is that Etsy right now is the number one platform where people are going to get PDF-based, downloadable self-help frameworks. So you don't have to have a fancy website. As a coach, you can shop your wares on Etsy and help a lot of people forge connection in new, deeper, and more meaningful ways. And today we're going to close out with another trend, and we're going to take a little bit of a left turn here and move into the space of healthcare. And the trend that I want to highlight here is food as medicine. So the idea of food as medicine isn't new. Think about the adage that chicken soup is good for the soul, it's good for a cold, it's good for a cold, rainy day when you have a cold, right? So food as medicine has been around forever, but a trend that's really kicked off in the last couple of years is that doctors are prescribing specific kinds of food as treatment plans. And this has gained a steady of enough cadence that it caught the attention of mainstream media who began reporting on it. I became aware of this trend of doctors literally prescribing fruits and vegetables a couple of years ago. So following that notoriety, we're now seeing an increase in investment in platforms and services designed to support this trend. So here's another place where we're going to follow the money. Where is the money going? The money is going into tech and app-based platforms to support the food as medicine concept. So the reason that I want to highlight this for coaches especially is that a couple of years ago as well, the Global Wellness Summit in their trends report identified coaching as the missing link between treatment plans and behavioral adaptation. And so specifically in the place of behavioral adaptation around preventative health is where we're seeing a burst of job creation for coaches to help folks adhere to healthy eating treatment plans. So this is now taking place in the space of healthcare on a food level. This has been going on for years in very niche spaces like diabetes coaching, where coaches can have a truly significant impact on a preventative health plan. And turning to specific focuses on food, apps like Noom were some of the first to begin utilizing coaches. Noom is a platform that bills themselves for weight loss, and they hire coaches to work one-on-one and in groups with people to understand the concept of eating food based on macros. And now we're beginning to see this trend push into more of a hardcore actual healthcare base. Apps like the Austin, Texas-based Season Health offer personalized food recipes, pre-made meals, grocery support, nutrition education, and one-on-one meetings. This is where coaching comes in. Season Health expanded its provider network through a strategic acquisition recently of Wellroy, which is a nutritional support company that employs dietitians. And I predict that we're going to see this expanding very quickly into coaching in the space. The reason that I want to hammer down on this trend is because Season Health is currently linking up with hospital systems, and hospital systems are seriously eyeing coaching in two directions to support the client at every single phase of their health journey, from prevention to diagnosis, all the way through palliative care and end of life. And we're also seeing hospitals recognizing that they don't have enough providers to serve all of the patients out there. And so they're looking at coaches to come in and supplement their provider network, and also to support physicians themselves in accessible care with a focus on empathy, communication building, where the coach is actually coaching the provider on how to relay information in a way that the client/patient will most readily receive it. So this is a trend that has teeth. This is a trend that has staying power. And whether we're talking about dance or travel or feeling lonely and wanting to connect with others or eating healthy foods, what we're seeing is that there are very primal, basic components of human existence that now have a spotlight on them in 2024, and folks are seeking help to return to themselves, to return to concepts of core and basic humanity, and to get the support that they need to live healthy, enriched, fulfilled, and happy lives. So thank you, coaches, for doing the work that you do. And as trends keep coming up, we will keep reporting on them so that you and your practice can get ahead of the curve in all of the ways. Take care. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Everything Life Coaching. If you're feeling the draw to become a coach, head to lumiacoaching.com/everything. Explore a new career that brings fulfillment, gives you a true sense of purpose, and a bold community to do it with.
Lumia is ready to equip you with the tools, training, and community you will need to reach your goals. If you're ready to build a unique coaching business on your own terms while making an impact on the world at large, Lumia is the next bold step in your coaching journey. That's lumiacoaching.com/everything.
And hey, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it.